satisfying. You just want it more and more. Well, it's the end for everyone who deserves nothing.
from the dirty south, yeah, I got the energy. Something you know nothing about. When I break a mind, they be thinking I'm a lunatic. Standing in a dark room, dusting off a broomstick. Still coming cold with the blades like chop. Flow grinding for a bankroll, spinning ghetto gospel. Deal with this pressure, but the maybe it's my marvel. Stepping to me wrong, then you know I move a hostile. Stepping to me wrong, then you know I move a hostile. Yeah, I got the energy, something you know nothing about. When I break a mind, they be thinking I'm a lunatic. Standing in a dark room, dusting off a broomstick. Still coming cold with the blades like chop. Flow grinding for a bankroll, spinning ghetto gospel. Gospel, 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 stepping to me wrong, then you know I move out. To me wrong, then you know I move off. To me wrong, then you know I move off. Yeah, I got the energy, something you know nothing about. When I break a mind, they be thinking I'm a lunatic. Standing in a dark room, dusting off a broomstick. Still coming cold with the blades like chop. Flow grinding for a bankroll, spinning ghetto gospel. Dealing with this pressure, about to make me lose my marbles. Stepping to me wrong, then you know I move a hostile. Hostile, 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 hostile.
The Dick Loving Cult. loving cult?
targeting.
other examples of universes or cosmoses or the
We
world,
don't
all
always
right,
know the
creation?
law.
We don't have another comp where we can say, well, we know that in other cases, Marty created life over there. There is no comparable.
Okay.
all of my chat
therefore
agrees
what?
that was a
The Christian worldview is true. You cannot have knowledge. And I've given you a way within which, if the Christian worldview is true, we can have knowledge. You have not given us a way under your worldview that you can have knowledge. And you keep saying science.
I got you one.
What
I got one for you.
That's good, but I just want to make this last point. What I keep repeating is that when you say science can give you knowledge, you admitted that science relies on your senses. In your senses, you cannot give me a non-circular argument as to why your senses are reliable. That's the
I'm going to give you the same argument that you just gave me, except I'm going to swap out the Bible for this Limp Bizkit poster. This Limp Bizkit poster is the foundation of all knowledge. And without my Limp Bizkit poster, you don't know shit, because I designed the paradigm within which we're going to talk about it. So now how is the Bible, how is your premise better than my Limp Bizkit poster? Praises
Dude, I
be
just
to
switched the Limp
break
Bizkit
stuff.
for my,
You just conceded the debate
I just
again.
switched the Limp Bizkit for my gym playlist. Banging.
Yeah.
Your poster, you just made your poster God. So now God is also required for knowledge in your worldview.
Well, no, poster isn't
You
God.
said the Christian God.
All right. So then a poster can't give you knowledge.
You said the Christian triune God. Now explain to me how the Christian triune God is any different logically, philosophically, than me pointing at my poster. You just arbitrarily chose a beginning point.
Defend the position that the Limp Bizkit poster grounds knowledge.
I mean, that's the challenge I just gave you for the Bible.
You have to defend
Yeah,
it. We are
no,
defend it.
That Limp Bizkit poster revealed the knowledge to me, and then that was the basis
So
of
it's
my
personal.
knowledge. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's based on an internal testimony.
So God is required for knowledge.
Of that I got from Limp Bizkit.
Right.
Do you not see what we're doing here? We're
Correct.
pointing out how ridiculous your
Conceding
argument
the debate.
is.
No. What you're doing?
Here's
you're
right.
doing
Hold on.
two things.
One sec.
You're not pointing out the ridiculousness.
Let me have this 1 second, please.
Hold on, gentlemen.
Can I have 1 second? Can I please have 1 second? Right?
Yes, you may.
Right. What Flo's doing, and what you're falling straight into, is showing how ridiculous your argument is by saying, well, that poster could be the thing that gives us all the knowledge, just as easily as God could be the thing that gives us all the knowledge. There's no way to prove that poster or God is the thing that gives us the knowledge. You need to point out how God is the thing that gives us the knowledge, rather than just saying that God is the thing that gives us the knowledge. We can say just as easily that poster gave us revelations and revealed to us what our abilities and knowledge are, just as you say God did. And it's just as ridiculous.
I know you have something to say, Joel. I'm sorry. Real quick. I love that. Could a God who does not reveal to us anything that we can know for certain give us knowledge that we could know for certain?
Could a God who doesn't, right, say that again?
Could a God who does not reveal anything to us for certain give us knowledge that we could have for certain?
If he doesn't reveal anything to us, then I suppose not.
All right,
Within
so
that
that's what we're doing
paradigm.
with the poster. You're saying that you can replace my argument with any God and anything, and they could give us knowledge. But
Sure.
I just gave you a scenario where God couldn't. I'm saying
So-
the same thing about your made up God.
Okay, so this is like,
It's
can
just
God
ridiculous.
make a rock too heavy for himself to lift? This is one of those
Yeah.
little. Okay,
No, it's not. Look,
can he though?
No.
Let Joel go. Joel had something to say.
no, he can't. Look,
Oh, so it's not all
Sometimes-
powerful.
sometimes I got a whole argument on that. If you want to talk about that, that's perfectly fine. I teach that in classes. If you want
You
to,
really shouldn't teach children. That is bad.
Oh, it's bad, but according to what standard, Craig? How do you get your
let's
moral
not
knowledge?
go personal.
Teaching
Let's
religion
do
to
that
children
out.
is bad, and I will
Craig,
stand by
bad,
that.
bad according to what standard, Craig? Is that what your
According-
feelings
according-
are?
I would love to
My
run that debate.
brainwashing
we
and
can
teaching lies
get
is
into
bad.
that. It's
Joel,
bad
I believe
because
you had something to
Let's set up.
say.
Listen,
Let's
Let's
set up
go
another
ahead and
debate about morality. That would be fun.
we can do that.
That would be amazing. Look, what you guys are doing is this, but and I know that the Limp Bizkit poster is just a silly version of, like, sometimes you'll hear like Harry Potter or a Spider-Man comic book or whatever. Quiet down, please.
Limp Bizkit is not silly.
Quiet down.
Sorry, I was just singing some Limp Bizkit.
Quiet down. The See, when you do that, it throws me off track. Now I got to take even longer to get back the train back on the track. It's a fragile train. It's got to stay on the tracks. Look, this appeal to like some hypothetical God. Look, by the time you've defined that Limp Bizkit poster, first of all, you'd have to make it immaterial, absolute, triune, objective, universal in its applicability, normative,
Triune.
and yes, triune as well.
Why is triune required?
Hold that thought. Let that be a follow-up question after I finish my thought, man. You got to wait. All right, get the train back. Let the train go on the tracks.
You just when you talk, you say so many absurd things, all in complete.
Hold that thought.
Everybody, shut up. Flo, I know your ADHD is kicking in.
What standard?
It's impulsivity. I get it, but let Joel finish and at least conclude. Joel, get to the point.
Here's the point. When you try to make that Limp Bizkit or Spider-Man or Harry Potter or anything else, when you try to make that the standard of knowledge, you have to give it all the attributes of the triune God of Scripture. If you don't, then you don't have a parallel argument to what we've been saying, because each and every one of those attributes is necessary, and God has them all. So all you've done is demonstrate your inability to understand the argument, or unwillingness. I think it's unwillingness. And you've demonstrated that literally nothing else can ground knowledge. God, it turns out, is necessary for knowledge. Yeah, you can come and you can
nice
say,
presupposition. I explained
Man,
to you
you
how
gotta land the fucking plane. You're done. You're filibustering now.
Calling it a presupposition is not an argument. Yes,
but it is an argument, because presuppositions don't win debates.
Craig.
Yeah, that's bad
Craig,
thinking.
It's justified. It's a
No, it's not justified.
Okay,
It's a
justify it.
presupposition.
That's all we've been
Because
doing.
your justification for God being needed for knowledge.
You're talking about science that tests our senses.
Your argument works for my poster. Your argument does not work. Does not necessitate triune God.
By the possibility of the concept.
Joel, do you ever stop talking?
Joel is a filibuster. He just filibustering.
To be fair, poor Joel hasn't been able to actually say one full sentence without being interrupted.
He does run on sentences, Mom.
I understand.
Yeah,
but
I mean, his sentences go on forever.
Understood.
And
then
I went and got a different clone to take over.
Plus, I think he's a cop.
Gentlemen, I can't even finish what I'm saying.
Sorry, Sarah. I apologize, Sarah.
Thank you. All right. At least be reasonable, because Craig and Flo, you're getting irritated anytime they interrupt you. And I think it's fair to go across the board. If he's filibustering, I will call it out, but I can't call it out if you guys.
How about this? How about Craig doesn't do the don't interrupt me thing, and we can interrupt them as well? Craig, deal.
How about you articulate what I just said back to me?
If you guys just want to go and
why would I articulate what you just said back to you? I'm trying to ask you how how would you say, because the argument that you made to support the existence of God, right? That logic chain can be applied to my poster. It can be applied to this knife. It can be applied to.
What did I just say, Dusty?
You wanted me to tell you your argument for you.
What did I say? What was my argument that I just?
Oh, I don't know. I was yelling at you.
Exactly.
Your argument was there has to be some magical special properties, otherwise it's not a real God. I reject that. This globe, I now prescribe all of the things that your God has. Every single thing.
That's incredible. Look what you're doing. First of all, you're proving.
Please worship my globe.
You're literally conceding
worship the globe.
No,
it is the
you cannot act like
thing.
us being childish is you winning the debate. They're different things.
If we take your childishness seriously,
fair, we're not the ones
then we
with
won the
imaginary
debate.
friends, so
if we
he's the
shouldn't take it
childish
seriously, then don't say it.
Okay, use the debate that you've laid out.
This is serious, because
use the debate that you've laid out so far.
That's all I've been
doing. And then explain to me why that poster cannot be substituted for the triune God.
Are you asking me to repeat the argument I just gave you a second ago when you were yelling?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, why can't I use my poster?
And before Joel does, because Joel has a very concise answer, and it's very,
Bullshit.
very, very simple. He's said it multiple times.
Hasn't been concise.
The question I asked, I think it was Craig, about a God who could. Craig, really?
Craig, yeah, it's not Craig.
Oh,
C-R-A-I-G.
We're Americans.
That's
anybody
no
else
American can say it right.
No, we can't. All right, Craig. All right, sorry, Craig.
The
question I asked you about a God who does not reveal things for certain, being able to reveal things for certain, that God could not be used in our argument, and you conceded that point.
I did. No, I didn't.
Well, Craig.
Okay, but I'm saying that poster
but then you're saying
can reveal it though.
Anything
that poster
For the same
it has
reason.
all. Yeah, that poster has all of the abilities of your god. That's what we're saying. Every single magical special ability that your god possesses, that Limp Bizkit poster also possesses.
It has all the same attributes.
Absolutely.
Do you
100%.
do you like
Oh,
corn
it's-
better?
So it's immaterial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too, actually.
Okay. The poster is immaterial.
Yeah, that's just a manifestation of it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Jesus was material, and so is the
That-
Bible.
That poster is immaterial. Is that what
It has
Yeah,
it has an essence. Hold on, the essence of my poster is different from the poster itself.
the poster?
That is the poster's son that was sent to die
The
for our sins.
poster,
The poster is immaterial. That's what you're saying.
that's the
Yeah.
father part.
The poster is immaterial. Yes or no?
Yes, it has an
Yes.
immaterial aspect and nature.
Okay. So the poster is immaterial.
It's an
The
idea.
poster.
Look,
Are you stuck?
poster
Can someone
exists.
please,
You know-
can someone please read
The
the
That
poster
poster?
still
poster
exists, right?
exists
Oh my God.
necessarily. Craig.
There we go.
Does that
Yeah.
poster exist necessarily in all possible worlds?
Yes,
Yes.
immaterially and materially.
No.
and look, it still
immaterially
exists
in all,
though.
Craig, does that poster exist in all possible worlds immaterially? Yes or
Under
no?
the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, it would
Does-
not exist in all universes.
Does that poster
Joe, if I'm in the middle of
exist?
answering the question, asking the question
It's a
again will
yes
not
or
make
no
me
question,
answer it in
Craig. It's a yes
and
or
I'm
no
not going to
question,
answer a
Craig.
yes or no question, Joel, to get rid of nuance that is required to answer the question properly, Joel.
Craig, it's a
Joel.
yes or no question. Does the
And I
poster
refuse to
exist
engage in your
Wi-Fi.
yes or no question that is loaded, Joel.
Craig, the answer
Joel.
is no. And if yes,
Joel.
we will continue.
Joel, I'm not answering yes or no to a question that
That's
has
right, you're not.
nuance.
Because you know that it's absurd. Because this word picture,
Just
this
like your
metaphor
God is absurd.
doesn't
Yes.
work. If you have
That
to
poster
straw
is
man-
God.
Craig, if you have
Joel.
Craig, if you have to straw man
Gentlemen.
somebody's
Joel.
position, Craig,
Joel.
and you don't understand
Joel.
it and you haven't refuted
Joel, are you okay, Joel?
Craig,
You
you
seem
are
broken.
literally
You keep
mocking
repeating the same thing.
yourself when you
Are
do
you
that.
okay, Joel?
Just
Do
so
you
we're
need
clear.
to take some time?
Craig, if you have to
Joel.
straw man somebody's position,
Nobody
don't
is straw manning
understand it.
anything, Joel.
You literally
That
are.
It's a
poster has
parable.
every aspect
We're
that your God
speaking in
has to deal
parables.
with it.
Okay, and then what's the reality behind the parable? Because a parable is a metaphor that
The
communicates
parable
truth.
is that maybe parable is the wrong word, but we're
Ah.
demonstrating. Parable's imperfect. Okay, you
Yes.
got me on that one. I concede the point. I shouldn't have called it a parable.
That's
But
good.
what I'm demonstrating is that just like God exists when we're not there, the poster exists when you can't see it, right? So because it's a concept, it's an idea. The metaphysical body of the poster still exists.
The whole metaphor depends on
Thank
you
you.
being
That's
able
what
to
I'm
point. The whole metaphor depends on you being able to point to anything and for it to work. If you have to
Yep.
define and redefine the object such that it's no longer that object, what you are doing, and I'm just going to skip to the end for the sake of being concise.
Please do.
If you, please do, Listen, Craig,
He was just doing the
gotta
thing, and you
stop.
had to antagonize him.
you really had to do it. Craig, if you have to redefine the thing out of existence, you're no longer talking about that thing. And here's the spoiler alert. You're now actually talking about God, and you have conceded the debate.
Actually,
If you have
you're
to
talking about the
redefine-
poster. You're talking about Limp Bizkit
Yeah.
now.
Let me
Yeah.
say
no,
something.
Hail Fred Durst.
thank you for
You're making the
admitting.
poster.
I did it all for the nookie.
You're making the poster have an absolute universal mind that has
Yep.
created everything. So God is
100%.
still required for knowledge. Thank you for conceding the debate.
And thank
right,
you for
here's the
conceding
thing,
that Limp
right.
Bizkit is God.
Can you I want to ask you something. So in about 100 years time, I give myself a mortal life and I invent a time machine. I go back to the beginning of time and create the universe. Can you disprove any of that?
If
Uh,
you go,
say it again. Say it again.
In 100 years time, I give myself a mortal life and I invent a time machine and I go back to the beginning of the universe and become the thing that creates the universe. Can you disprove any of that?
Well, how would we
there was no
disprove it?
beginning.
So you can't disprove it then?
No. It was a question. How would we go about disproving it? What would we use?
No, the question was, can you disprove it?
Yes.
Go on then.
So I guess the answer is no.
The answer is yes. I'm asking you a very simple question. How would we disprove it? What faculty?
Yeah, you don't answer. You don't answer
would
my
have to
question
be
with a
eternal.
question.
We
So
don't?
It would have to be eternal.
yeah, is it a yes or no? Can you disprove what I have
Yes.
just said?
Yes.
Go on then. Disprove it
Okay.
then.
Because
That's
in
not
order
what
for
the-
you to make the time machine, you would have to rely on something called knowledge, which can only be had with God.
Yeah, but I went back in time and created the universe, including all the knowledge in the universe.
So you concede that you needed God for knowledge in order to create the time machine, and then you went back in
So
time.
are you saying
found
that
out
I'm
where
my
God
God,
and created the
but my
universe?
God. Yes, we can
Are
see,
you
but my
saying-
God. We're only talking about my God. It has to be the Limp Bizkit poster.
You have redefined
Or
that
me.
poster such that it is not that poster anymore. Think about this. I
and
really
just
gotta
like the triune
on.
God redefines
Dusty,
Father and
Dusty,
Son entirely.
If you have to redefine the poster, one of the attributes of God is that he is not that poster. If you have to
Just
redefine
like
one of the
the poster,
What
so
the
that it
attribute
has
of God
all
is
of
that
the
he's not
attributes
human.
Of God, one of the attributes of God is that he is not that poster.
So you're Jewish
congratulations,
now.
You have just
Oh,
again
God.
Joe.
conceded the debate. Craig,
You're
Joel,
Joel.
can I-
You're Jewish now
Yeah.
because you said that you can't redefine things to make it something that's not. So God is not a human, right?
Yeah. Can I
So
point out, Joel, how
you just disproved Christianity.
the
Congratulations.
The
Yeah.
verse.
Go ahead,
I
Craig.
think
I
Joe-
think Craig.
I- verse
Hold on, hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
Joe-
I think Craig wanted to get in there, but Flow State, you
yeah.
keep interrupting your own partner. Craig, go ahead.
I'm interrupting
That's okay.
everybody today.
Go ahead, Craig.
I think Joe is missing the point of what we're doing. We're just pointing out the ridiculousness of his stance, how something that is completely immaterial can be the thing that gives everyone knowledge, when we have already stated that knowledge comes from our own observations and experiences, and that can exist separate of God. So when you keep going, oh, you've conceded the debate, No, we're not. We are simply making the ridiculousness of your position known by taking it to ridiculous extremes. That does not negate the fact that both Flo and I have already stated that knowledge can exist separate of God.
You keep repeating the same circular argument over and over again after you've been.
But you don't
debunked
know
multiple
what a
times.
circular argument is because iterative
Okay.
testing is not circular.
Do you use your senses for the scientific method?
Yes, and you can
Okay.
you can use.
And
the
then how do
scientific
you
method.
use
tested that
what do you use to observe the
by
conclusions of the
testing
scientific
reality.
method, Craig?
By
What do you
testing reality.
No, yeah. How do you
By
test reality?
testing
Use your
reality.
senses.
By continued testing, iterative testing.
You're in a circle and you literally can't even
It
see
doesn't
And I-
matter.
I-
It
I've
is
said it like
not
4 times now.
circular when it is iterative and
Maybe-
tested.
all right,
Craig,
real quick,
hold
guys,
on.
don't
Can we have a
know.
huddle? Can we have a huddle real quick? Craig, we can win this by not appealing to science. Just say it's through divine revelation, and we got him.
No,
Yes, say that. Say that, Craig. Say it's by divine
All-
revelation.
Right. All praise.
Craig, say it.
Well,
Right,
I mean,
through
I
divine
know where it
revelation.
came from. It was the flying spaghetti monster who praises noodly appendages, who
what's
is
the
way
problem?
better than your God because my God actually created the universe in 5 days whilst
Craig.
drinking heavily.
So what we've done is we've regressed to the point. We've regressed to the point where we're just making claims. That's it.
No,
Dustin,
I've proven
Dustin,
everything. I've
Joe,
said.
I want to point out
Let's
that you are
move
now
on.
banned from saying my name. Just to be
Let's-
clear, you said it.
let's
You,
move- I'm
you have
saying
now.
it-
That's
You
gonna
have
be hard to
used all
enforce.
of your Craigs.
No, Craig, I don't accept
Okay.
authority.
I'll sell you
Alex-
more Craigs.
Alex, did you have a thought in here? Looked like you were trying to squeeze in.
I don't have something to squeeze in, but I can go back because I had a few things.
That's a bummer, man.
I have a few
I got many things to squeeze
about
in.
the opening statement because I was cut off. I got one in and I had 3.
Three
Craig
what?
said
Craig.
3 things about Craig's opening statement. You said that nobody has proven that God exists. They just use philosophical word games. So how do you
Yes.
prove that the laws of logic exist without using philosophical word games?
You can
There
test
are a
them.
philosophical word.
Oh,
game.
you can
wouldn't
test
be
the
able
laws
to.
of logic. Go ahead. How do you test
Yeah.
the laws of logic?
See,
You
they're
don't.
consistent.
They're
Oh,
defined.
does
They're
consistency
defined already.
presuppose the laws of logic?
Excuse me.
No,
Oh, consistency doesn't. So I can be consistent and not consistent at the same time when I test the laws of logic, can't I?
All you're doing is
No, that
testing a
wouldn't be consistent.
definition against a definition.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
You guys need to
I will
figure out your
will
position.
challenge. Yes, they are different positions here, which is fine. You guys
I know that you
debate.
guys
I
teamed
can
up.
get both
You
of you.
planned.
I can
We
get
met
both
each
of you.
other here now. You're watching it, right?
Bad decision.
And
bad
and
decision.
and
Try
we're
not
still
to
gonna,
contact
we're gonna
each
we're
other.
gonna stomp you on this any
Listen,
different way we want to.
I will
You guys
question
can
both of
strategize
you.
all you want, and you don't
Hold
have
on.
an
Hold
argument.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
You were
I don't have
answering.
an argument.
Go ahead, Alex. Did you want to finish that thought?
Yeah, and look, I will question both of them separately if they have different positions on us. That's fine. But Craig said that you don't need to presuppose the laws of logic in order to test them. That's right.
And
right?
ultimately, you're trying to do this backwards
You're
because you're the one
answering
making an
Craig's
affirmative
question.
claim. We're the ones questioning you.
My affirmative claim is the impossibility of the contrary, like I've already said like 20 times. Please listen.
The contrary of what?
Can Craig answer the question, please? And then I can get to
The
you.
laws of logic are a human concept that we have come up with.
Ah, there it is.
Okay.
So
And
the
now,
lo-
are concepts mind dependent, Craig?
Yeah, and our mind
And
is something
before
that evolved
human,
without.
before human
I was
minds existed,
answering your
you
question.
Said, yeah, and
Do
you
not
said yes.
talk.
You
I am in the
Calm
middle of
down,
answering your
Craig.
question.
My God,
Allow me
all
to
four of
finish
you.
what I
Calm
am saying.
down, Craig.
Go ahead,
Joe,
Craig.
you're banned from saying my name.
No,
Yes.
Craig.
Guys, when
Look,
you
I've got
ask the
I've
question,
got Craig's for sale, extra Craig's.
when you ask
I'll
the
take
question,
some of those extra Craigs. I need them.
no,
Joe,
Joe, you're
send me
banned.
10 bucks
from
and I
saying
got
my
you.
name.
I got you 20 of them.
I bought Craig
enough,
indulgences from
enough,
He did. He bought
enough,
20 of them.
Enough.
Thank you.
I don't care about what he bought. Craig, please finish your statement.
I forget now what it was. I mean, this all comes down to just presupposing that God exists, and we cannot get past that point unless you can show us that God exists and is something that is able to prescribe logic and laws and knowledge. Then you don't have an argument. Show me God or shut up.
Here you go.
That's not God. That is a
This
book.
is a book that God has given us, and the worldview that
Prove
is
it.
presented.
No,
by this book-
there's a nice presupposition that God gave you that
Pause for a
book.
minute.
That
Pause for a
book
minute,
came from a
Craig.
print.
You
no,
need to
no,
calm
that book
down,
came from
Craig.
a that
You
book
need
came
to
from a
listen,
printing
Craig.
press.
Craig,
Joe,
you
that
are
book
a
came from a
grown
printing press. That
Gentlemen,
book
Don't
gentlemen,
send all those Craigs in one
gentlemen.
place.
The Bible. I
Joe,
bought
that
my
book did not come from
ability to
God.
say
That book
Craig
was
is
written by sheep herders.
Craig, what is your deal
Joe.
with sheep herders, Craig? There is nothing wrong. Many
All I had to do to have you was sign up for tier 2 of your Patreon. 'Cause you're my Patreon girl, and your love for me depends on how much money that I pledge to you monthly.
Okay.
What just happened?
I doggy prawn bombed you. Now listen, gentlemen, you've been going all night back and forth, interrupt. I'm okay with playing
I like
that
going all
game.
night.
It can be entertaining, but at the same time, the viewers can't hear any of what you're
Fuck the
saying.
viewers.
There's like
Well-
700 of them out there, probably more at this point, but I'm pretty sure they actually want to hear the arguments, or even they want to hear the insults you're making, but they can't hear shit because you're going over each other. So let's at least try to give each other a little bit of vocal space here, be mindful, and play properly. Alex, did you finish your thought there, or did you want to dive in a little further? Because you've been a little quiet.
I asked Craig if, and the reason I can't say is because I'm in East Coast. We speak fast, so Craig takes me a second to say. Sorry.
A lot of syllables there.
He was he was saying that that the laws of logic are mind dependent concepts. I got that right, Craig?
Correct. They exist because humans made them up.
Okay. So did they exist before human minds existed?
No.
Okay. So how do you have a
We
universal
are
concept?
the laws of logic. We
Are the
made
laws
the
of
laws
logic
of logic.
universal?
Aliens
As
might think the laws
defined.
of logic different.
As we have
All right, can
defined
hear
them
him.
when we created them, sure.
So yes, so universal
No,
mind.
that wasn't a
concept
universal
did
yes.
not
That was
exist.
qualified yes.
Yeah. Nuance is lost on you, isn't it?
Has to
No,
be.
it's not. You
Craig,
should really
really
listen to a circular
Craig,
argument.
That's an
No, you
ad
two really look
hominem,
what
Craig.
nuance is.
All
Joe,
right, Craig,
Joe,
listen, I'm
Joe,
gonna
let me
try to
get
set you
Joe.
straight
No,
here.
Joe, wait,
Quiet,
Joe.
quiet down. I'm gonna try to
Joe,
get. I'm gonna,
no, Joe, I have a question
no,
for you. No, Joe, we get the
no,
questions.
No, Craig.
Joe, we get the questions.
down.
Calm down.
That
Yes,
is
Joe.
fair. The
Joe.
question should be coming from Flo and Craig.
I'm
Technically,
going to answer
I already
what you
came.
said earlier.
Joe,
if I can.
if you
No,
want
Joe,
to,
wait, I'm going to ask you a question, Joe, and you can be quiet and listen.
Craig,
my.
Craig,
Joe,
But he has to
Joe,
answer.
be
laws of
quiet.
logic- Craig, that's
Joe,
not how you.
Joe,
Craig,
no, I am asking you a
Craig,
question,
compose
Joe. You
yourself
be
like a
quiet
man.
now.
Mm.
Joe,
laws
this
of
is
logic
where I
are a
talk, Joe.
human
Joe,
convention.
this is where I talk and ask you a
Craig,
question.
this is
Joe,
where
so
I
you be
respond
quiet,
to what you
please.
said earlier.
No,
If the
Joe,
laws
I'm
of
asking you a
logic-
question. You can't respond because I haven't asked you a question
Hold
yet.
on. Joel, what were you responding to?
Thank you. I was responding to Craig's claim that the laws of logic are merely a human convention. He's trying to move on because he's afraid of the answer to
Well,
this.
no, I'm
point.
trying to go back to the thing you've already
Yes,
moved
yes,
on
sure.
from.
You're trying to go back to whatever. Okay, listen, Craig.
Yeah. So
if the laws of
I'd like
logic
to ask
are
my
merely
question
a
now that I've been
human
trying to ask for a few
convention,
minutes.
That's okay. I'll let you wait a little while longer. If the
No,
laws
I'll
of
tell you what we're
logic
going to do.
are a
If you're going to
merely
stop
human
now,
convention,
and as we are the
then
ones
the
that are asking
real
the
world
question,
does
the
not.
question.
Craig, Craig,
Joel,
the
no,
laws of
Joel, I've got
logic.
a question for you, Joel.
Stop for just a
The
second.
laws of logic.
Joel, you've got exactly 30 seconds to finish that up.
I can do that. If the laws of logic are merely a human convention, then they do not reflect the way the world really is, and the world is illogical and incoherent. If logic were merely conventional, it
agree.
would be
Cool.
false and contradictory. Human experience shows that logic is discovered, not invented. If logic were a convention, it wouldn't exist where humans do not exist, and skeptics contradict themselves by appealing to logic while denying its objectivity. Logic is a reflection of the way reality actually is, and using it presupposes that logic is real, and the only worldview that accounts for that is God. You know it, and you are presupposing it when you argue against it.
Incorrect.
You want to
Logic,
take it? Okay.
yeah, like I've been trying to say for ages, no, logic is something that we came up with as humans. We have now decided that it is universal. That is something that we decided as we came up with logic, not something that was prescribed beforehand. Now,
We can
back
decide
to
they're
the
not
question that
universal.
I asked you that you kept running away from. I said, show me God, and you showed me a book. A book is not God.
That's not
A
what you
book
said.
is something. A book is not
That is
God.
just-
It is a book. So I'm going to ask the question again. Can you show me God? Because that is the foundation of this. Show me God.
With your eyes, you want to see God with your eyes?
Yes, please.
You'll see him in about 100 years.
No,
Can you show me a
show me
law of
God now.
logic?
You want to see
Can you
God?
show me a law of logic?
Yes. No,
You want me to
sorry.
show
Going to the
We
question.
invented the laws of logic as well.
You have to right now prove that God exists. Otherwise, you have no argument.
You want me to show you using your sense experience?
No, I want you to prove to me that God exists.
You want
I
me
don't
to
care
show
how
you?
you do it, Joel.
You-
I don't
you-
care how you do it, Joel. Just show me that God exists.
Okay, if knowledge is possible, God exists. Knowledge
No,
is
that's a
possible, therefore God
presupposition.
exists.
Show me that God exists without
No, it's called an
presupposing that God
argument.
exists.
Oh,
Show me
that's
that
It's called a logical argument, Greg. I know you don't like logical
presupposition.
arguments.
It's
but
not a
that's what we're
logical
doing.
argument. It's
Oh,
not a
man.
logical argument. It's
Is
a
modus
presupposition.
ponens valid?
It's a presupposition. It's
Is
not a logical
modus
argument.
ponens is a presupposition?
It's a
What is
saying
that?
God
What's modus
exists,
ponens?
therefore it's
Thank you.
knowledge.
Right. See, when flow state doesn't know a term, he asks for the definition. You just confidently assert
Well, can you just answer my question and not take the opportunity to scumbag him?
if P then Q, P
Mhm.
therefore Q. It's a form of a syllogism.
Okay, so what
Yeah,
you have
you
here is
didn't do that with God.
basically mathematic equation as defined by the person presenting the equation,
Kind
right?
Kind of.
So
yeah.
so yes, it's a reflection. So you could say, you could say that logic is reflective of reality, but logic is really just how we've decided to define our experience of reality.
Now
we
we're getting
define-
somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Logic, the words that we use to describe and define and use logic, is reflective of reality. Absolutely right.
But the
And we have
logic
to
itself, the logic
we have
is
to
a
presuppo-
human.
Go ahead.
Is a
They ran away
human
from the
creation.
question.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. You cannot
The
contradict
language.
yourself because we define it.
Yes, the language is human created. We're speaking English right now. We create our own
Okay,
notations, but the reality behind the logical notation, Dusty,
patterns.
is real. It's not just a pattern. This is the difference. See, this is the difference. This is what I'm trying so hard to help you guys understand. And I don't mean that kind
You
of.
don't need to help me, Joel. You're not intelligent enough to do that.
great.
Joel,
Quiet down. Craig, good
you
grief.
Joel,
Hold
you
on, Greg,
avoided my
Greg, I
question.
believe- I believe
Oh,
in
you are
Jesus,
acting
Lord
like a
have
child.
mercy. I'm going to start playing
If-
really stupid videos to interrupt you guys. If you
He
keep
wants
making
that.
me have to do it for you, it's going to be hot, sexy, steamy firemen, and none of you are going to want to watch it.
It always is
So,
when me and
if
Craig
you
are on a
keep-
team together.
If you act this way,
serious.
Uh,
Corinth, if
Beating up on
you're
retards, so I know a lot about that. Don't worry.
Oh, very good, Craig. Very good.
Been doing it
retard
this
by
whole
what- by
debate.
what
I
percent?
love
All right,
liberalness of the
Corinth,
debate.
you got 10 more minutes backstage, and I'm going to go ahead and wait. Grid one wants
Boy,
to
they
talk
really don't
basketball.
want to hear Corinth.
They don't want to
No, I
hear
don't.
Corinth.
I have a possible debate upcoming with Corinth. That'll be fun. He's really annoying.
I'll respond to that. Look, if Corinth wants to come in here and talk about an epistemological theory or justificatory theory that doesn't lead to knowledge, that has nothing to do with this debate. The purpose of this debate is to talk about, is God necessary for knowledge? That's what we've been talking about. And so if he wants to come up and talk about a theory of justification that doesn't actually justify
That doesn't give knowledge.
beliefs, that doesn't actually lead to knowledge, that's completely immaterial and it's totally irrelevant. That's why I was trying to figure out what the heck he's talking about, but it sounds like he's trying to do what I call philosophy shaming, which is when you throw out a theory with a lot of syllables and you try to say, if you don't know what this is, you're an idiot. Now, he did try to unpack it a little bit for us, but when he unpacked it, he revealed that it had nothing to do with our debate anyway. So, Corinth, maybe come up with something.
Yeah, I can explain to you how it's relevant to the debate. Now,
Okay.
your team proposed JTB as the knowledge theory. This is a justificatory theory, as in it's explaining the justification part of JTB. It doesn't itself lead you to knowledge, but it's a part of knowledge. Do you know what necessary versus sufficient conditions are, Joel?
I think so. Yeah. Why don't you
This is a
explain it?
necessary condition.
Okay.
You need to have justification. Now, that's not in and of itself sufficient.
Yes.
You having
Okay.
justification for a belief doesn't mean it's knowledge.
Great.
So when your stupid teammate over here is saying, well, does this
Shut
itself
up.
give you knowledge? That's
Don't
why
you
I'm
say that about
calling him
Alex.
stupid.
Can we
He
turn
doesn't
this debate
understand the
into a
difference
boxing
between it,
match?
Joel. You and
Alex,
I
keep the
understand the
brakes off
difference.
tomorrow. That'll be
He
fun.
We can do better than that.
Yes.
All right, Corinth, what's your question, man?
What's the impossibility? And your team affirmed that impossibilities are contradictions on phenomenal conservatism as a
contradiction.
part of
Grid
JTB.
one.
Which is
Where?
what you're
What
saying
day?
needs
Where
to be
did you get that
falsified
hat
for the-
from?
For the certainty theory to
Got it from Walmart, bro.
Does your
That's awesome.
justificatory theory ground
want
the
one?
laws of logic?
Do you have
Yeah.
another one?
But justificatory
Probably.
theories aren't
I would
required
make
to ground
one.
the law of logic. Certainty doesn't ground the laws of logic. This
We
is
could
a
wear sunglasses
non-sequitur.
and our matching gay
I don't
pride
say
hats.
certainty grounds
is
the
Didn't I
laws
meet
of
you in New
logic.
Jersey?
The laws of logic are presupposed.
Yeah, that's why saying do these justificatory theories ground the laws of logic is a non sequitur.
Do-
I don't understand why you're asking, does this do this thing?
Well, because logic is necessary for truth, which is necessary for justified true
It
belief.
is, but that doesn't mean any given part of knowledge has to be able to justify those laws of logic.
So your question is there another way to justify a belief other than what we presented?
I'm giving you a way to justify it. I'm giving you the leading theory right now in most
Hey,
epistemology. by the
your
way.
camera's going to be
That's
on when we
phenomenal.
debate. right?
Allow
Yes,
me
it is.
to, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
wanna see you
Craig
spitting
is,
all over the place as you talk.
who the fuck? I
Sorry.
have one rule. Thank you. Craig is going to
What
make
is
his
it?
eggs. Craig is going to make his exit. If we could kindly give him the floor for his final thoughts.
Craig,
Well,
buddy.
thank you very much. It's 4 o'clock in the morning for me, and I'm going to the gym in about 4 hours and then moving home. So I do need to go to bed because apparently sleep's important. So thank you very much, Sarah, for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you, Flo, for being my partner. That was fun. And thank you, atheists, for having an imaginary friend that I can argue with. That's always not atheist. I'm tired. Theists. Thank you, theists, for having an imaginary friend.
Hey,
Yeah.
Craig,
No
it
worries.
was good
It was a
to
lot of
see
fun,
you again. I enjoyed talking to you at DebateCon.
Yeah, man. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I recognize you from DebateCon.
It's a different hat. Hang on. I got it
Yeah.
here. Wait, hang on.
And hey, good talk. Had a good time.
Yeah,
It's a
Craig.
different hat.
coming out.
That was a lot of
Thank you very
fun,
much, guys. And then hopefully I'll be around a lot more. So yeah, thank you very much, and
Yeah.
I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Craig.
Craig.
We appreciate
Craig.
having you on, Craig.
No worries. Catch you later. Bye bye.
Pip pip cheerio.
Pip pip cheerio.
He's used to arguing with the flat earthers. Nothing phases him.
So I've got a question for the theists, if you have the time. It's somewhat related to the knowledge information so far, but it's more related to how your book was constructed and the specifically the Christian part of it, not the part of it that's Judaism that y'all still have, not the Old Testament but the New Testament. The Greek virtue ethics are almost identical in terms of the concept of sin in the New Testament. Why did y'all borrow so heavily from the pagans if God is your truth? I mean, couldn't your Christian people come up with something different, or was it just that the people who wrote the Bible had those beliefs?
How do you know that they
when they
borrowed
were
from
writing the book, they just took what was handy and used
You'll
it.
have to ask the Romans who wrote it.
Yeah.
Give an example.
All of the concepts of sin that Thomas Aquinas wrote about, he connected these dots together too, and it wasn't
Thomas
controversial.
Aquinas wouldn't demonstrate that we borrowed from pagans.
Okay, well, I can pull up some
Obviously you
sources
did,
for you and
though.
stick them in the
Yeah, you
back
can
chat.
pull up whatever the fuck you want. That doesn't demonstrate anything.
Do you deny that you borrowed from pagans?
You didn't borrow from pagans, no.
God damn.
I hope God doesn't damn you. I hope he
But
saves you.
Effigy, did you make a Jeff for truth argument? Do you believe the Romans created Christianity?
It could go either way as far as I'm concerned. What I like to say is it is more likely that the Romans completely invented your religion than any supernatural claim in the Bible is true.
That's unbelievable.
Okay. Yeah.
It is way more likely that all that shit is made up than any supernatural claim
Likely
is true.
according to what standard of probability?
That's a naturalistic presupposition. But if
Under
anybody's
the standard
interested, I
that
did a debate on
supernatural
that
shit
topic
has
on my
not been
channel.
proven to be true.
Yeah.
What standard is that?
We can do this. We can say it's probably invented because we've never seen a virgin birth, right? The probability of that being true is relatively slim.
Is that an internal critique of Christianity?
It incorporates reality into it. So I don't know if you consider it an internal or not. Probably not,
Well,
because
by reality it would have to be external, right?
Right. So if by an internal critique of Christianity you mean that I have to believe with the impossible shit you believe in
For the sake of argument, yes. If you want to internally critique
Okay,
and show a logical
so see,
contradiction, of course.
then you're not doing an internal critique either. You're saying I have to accept your belief
For the sake of argument.
Grant the paradigm in order to critique
This
it.
is this is a justification. What is knowledge? Alex, what is knowledge?
Belief.
Justify. I'm addressing the justification of believing in Christianity versus the justification of believing that it was probably just invented.
Go
And
ahead.
we can reference particular tenets within Christianity, like virgin births, and say this is probably a good reason to believe that this is make believe.
You think that the virgin birth is a logical contradiction in Christianity, in which God rules over all and can do all that he pleases? You think that's a logical
No, it's not an
contradiction within
internal
Christianity?
logical contradiction. It
Correct.
is a contradiction with reality, our shared
That's
experience.
an external critique. You're assuming things about reality.
Okay, that's
that we
fine.
do
It's an
not believe.
external critique. It still
We don't-
supports the point he
It's
made.
not internal, so who the fuck cares?
Well, Joel, you could make
So
the
you're
same argument
solipsistic then,
supporting
is
all
what
the
you're saying.
Why
pantheon
the
of
shit
Greek
would
gods.
anyone who doesn't believe in it give a shit about an internal critique?
Because of the impossibility of the contrary. Because if you don't believe it, you can't
Demonstrate
prove
the
anything at all.
impossibility of it. That's what you've been
That's
asking.
Oh,
what
you
we've
guys
been
are
doing.
solipsistic.
Demonstrate the fucking
That's
possibility of
solipsism.
it.
That's
That's what we've been
solipsism
doing
right
this
there.
entire debate.
This is perfect
Can you tell
solipsism.
me what you did against phenomenal conservatism then?
Corinth,
Fifth time I'm
hello.
asking. Fifth
Corinth,
time I'm
I'll give
asking
you the
for the
PNS.
impossibility of it in this given debate.
Phenomenal conservatism gives you justification. Phenomenal
Phenomenal
conservatism
conservatism
doesn't give
is
you
a
justification.
justificatory theory.
You gonna listen or no?
Does it give
Yeah,
you
I'm listening.
justification for
I'm listening
knowledge?
right
Yes or
now.
no?
The P and not P is phenomenal conservatism gives you justification. Phenomenal conservatism doesn't give you justification. P and not P.
Okay, so God exists and not God exists.
Focus
Therefore,
on the-
that's a
Well, no,
contradiction
that's
on
what
God
you
exists,
believe about
retard.
phenomenal conservatism.
No, it's not, you stupid retard.
So
this is why I
can
said you're the
phenomenal
80 IQ on
conservatism- Shut up.
Stupid
asking
and
Joel.
retard.
Shut up.
Jesus.
I'm asking Joel because he's
Good thing you're back.
retard, Alex.
This message is sponsored in part by...
Already shut the fuck up. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. For starters, everybody in the back fucking stage, if you're messaging in the private chat, stop. I will just boot you the fuck out.
Yeah,
I said logistics only back there. It's getting on my fucking nerves with that little bleep thing going off. Stop doing
Bitches.
it. All right. Secondly, if you are if you're watching on Raging Tomato, I'm going to drop a link for the gauntlet. You need, if you're not a member on the Raging Tomato, you need to go ahead and start heading over to the gauntlet. You can still watch the same stream. You can still chat over there, but it's going to be members only over on Raging Tomato. And then anybody that's not a member, watch from the gauntlet. We're trying to boost that channel up. This is where the open panel portion of things will soon be living. So you might as well get used to going over there now.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we're just going to leave it as members only on this side. So I'm going to just keep dropping it in the link. If the wrenches can go ahead and do that, I'll give you a few minutes to start heading over there. And then the Raging Tomato will be just members only. Okay.
I will leave it. I was just going to say that I'll leave it here, and me and Corin
How are
can
you
have a
tonight,
discussion
Sarah?
during our debate. That way we can have an actual moderator. You might have to do more hands-on moderating during that debate, but obviously we can't have a conversation without a moderator, it seems.
I think
could
that's
this be
fair.
after? Yeah.
I think that's fair. Corinth, did you have any other question?
Yeah, I have the
to-
same question I've been asking originally to Joel.
Good luck.
Can you show
Well,
me the
it doesn't
contradiction on
sound
phenomenal conservatism?
again. I don't think you're going to
They've been
get
doing your
it.
own panel, Sarah.
Well, hold on. Okay, Corinth, I'm going to remove you. You can wait until your debate with them and let me bring somebody else up. I think, Furby, you still have 10 minutes back there. Brenda, let's try again. And again, ad homs are okay here. If you're going to spend your time worried about ad homs and all of that other shit, then I'm just going to boot you again.
Brenda's got
all right.
Brenda's barely got a brain.
I understand
Evan
that
Lord.
ad homs are okay with you.
Evan Lord, I wanted to know your thoughts. I think you've been pretty quiet here. Can you go ahead?
All right. On the entire kind of like topic on this, it seems like it'd be socially useful to go and have the basis of all morality and the basis of reality, considering there's a lot of philosophical uncertainties there about it, where having a god is useful and it helps keep society together, because it makes it
Could
so
other things keep society together?
no.
Only God?
Religion is something that every society
So
has. 'Cause
Islam could keep
otherwise,
society
Are
together.
there religions without gods?
Islam could keep society together.
Yes,
right?
there are lots of them. Atheism is one, I believe.
Shinto.
Flat Earth is one of them. The
Yeah,
Mandela effect.
Shintoism. Yeah.
I
All
knew
of
I
those
liked
could-
you.
Why don't you just
folks.
list Buddhism?
All of those could keep society together.
What's the question?
Can you have a religion without a god?
Yeah, Buddhism.
Yeah, atheism is one for sure.
No, you believe in a bunch of shit too.
I'm not an atheist. I'm an agnostic.
Yeah, I'm an atheist.
term
Doesn't matter.
correctly.
Atheists believe in a
And-
bunch of shit too.
If you're an agnostic, you are an atheist.
Okay.
No.
Point made.
Belief is a true dichotomy. You either do or you don't. If you say I don't know, by definition, you're saying you do not affirmatively believe
Well,
something. Therefore,
Right.
You
It's,
still
belief
don't.
is a true dichotomy.
that's why atheism, I think,
there
is
are no
religion
such
because
things
it
as
has a
agnostics.
positive.
It's just atheists who don't want to admit it.
Atheism is a
No, because
propositional
atheism is a
attitude.
positive belief in no God. What I'm telling you is,
No.
you
Yes,
you
it is.
have a religion. You have your atheist religion. I don't have that.
Atheism is not.
I'm
a
saying
religion.
I don't know what God is
Atheism
here.
just the disbelief in a claim. That's all
Okay.
it is, literally.
That's all.
I'm not an anti-theist.
I'm not-
I don't go out of my way to be a
Okay, so we're being
Gnostic.
persnickety
you
with
know,
the definitions. Okay, that's
anti-theist.
fine. My point is that I don't.
With their
posit-
definitions,
I don't
you have
have
to
a
be persnickety about it,
positive
man.
disbelief
Just one at a
in a God.
time.
If the God of the Bible is there, then everyone has sufficient evidence to already know him. And so any denial
What
of
the
him,
fuck is that?
quiet, any denial of
Absolutely
him
not.
is a
Hey, you don't know
positive
me.
claim that God does not exist.
It does
So
not exist.
Gnosticism is.
Are you a
is
cop?
to-
Are you a
to,
cop?
anti-theism.
Hold on, Flo.
Quiet.
Let him finish.
Stay
He told me to
focused.
be quiet. Is he a cop? I want to know if he's a cop with that mustache.
I just made a
That's
really good
porn
argument.
stash. That's a porn
made a really
stash,
good-
not a cop stash.
No, you made a really circular argument.
Are you a porn star?
No, that wasn't a circular argument, I don't think. But even if it was, what's wrong with circular arguments in your worldview?
In your worldview, like anybody likes circular arguments.
What's wrong with circular arguments on
Wait,
your
hold on.
worldview?
Does God dislike circular arguments?
God dislikes fallacious arguments.
He likes fellatio.
You're in trouble
It's always
then.
so funny when
You
Christians
hear
like
everything
claim
you hear.
logic and they're like,
Yeah.
logic cannot exist outside my
Logic-
worldview.
Logic presupposes God. Yes,
It-
that's right.
it's-
That's what this
No, it
debate is
doesn't.
about.
Logic
My-
is simply a property of the universe.
My
Oh,
God,
and you know that because of God. Yes,
my God is the one that has
No,
the
I know that
knowledge
because
to
the
make
universe
your God.
exists.
you know
Like,
that
because
and
we're
that's
sitting here in it
because of God.
having this conversation.
Does
Account-
God know all
account for
true
God
propositions?
or account for logic without God.
Okay.
Does God
let-
know? Does God know all true propositions?
Yes.
So he knows what it's like to suck a cock.
Oh my God.
All right, I'll move it on.
Okay.
So, Joel, would you say that you
What do you-
said earlier
what do you-
very low bar.
What do you know?
hold that we're all
Does-
atheists,
wouldn't you
even if
know?
we, or I'm sorry, that we all believe in God, even if we deny it because of our behavior?
Tacitly, yes.
Yeah, that's just
But-
a begging the question
but-
fallacy.
Hold on. But Dusty, it's possible to hold a belief that you do not believe in God. It is possible to be self-deluded or self-deceived. Alex mentioned that earlier. So by your behavior, by the way that you live your life, you reveal what you do believe. You also hold a superlative, a super, what we might call a superrogative belief on top of that, which is the belief that you don't believe in God.
But
I'm
I
not-
really do. I really like this.
That is some tying yourself in a fucking knot shit,
It's not
man.
tying
Law
myself
of
in,
logic
I'm
thing
talking about
again.
iterative
A belief that you don't believe.
That's correct. That's called an.
That's what you
iterative
think,
belief. It's called
are?
believing. It's called thinking about your beliefs or
The
believing
lack
about your
of
beliefs.
belief.
So, which one do I believe?
Well, you believe both of them, and you need to only believe the one that's true.
So,
which
is the part of me that believes in God? Does that mean I'm saved?
No, you do not believe in. Well, let me ask you this: do you believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins and rose again on the third day?
Well, I should ask you, do I believe that? Because
No, I don't think that you believe that. But I mean, if you do believe that, you shouldn't have been.
But
on
you
that-
said that he believes that he doesn't believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But therefore, he would be believing,
this
right?
is why you have to
Underneath
get young people. You have to start teaching them young.
What I'm saying is not contradictory. It's
Yes, it
it's
is.
confusing.
It simply begs the question.
It doesn't
It's
beg the
literally what you're.
question. No, it
Yes,
doesn't.
it is. You're
This is an
presupposing the truth of your conclusion. Your
Yes, I'm
conclusion is
presupposing the truth of my conclusion, and I'm just
Yeah, that's called begging the question.
Breaking the third law. of logic.
Literally called
the
begging the question.
The presupposition. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
presuppos-
presupposing something. You presuppose things too. You actually presuppose
no, I-
God.
I
Every
don't
time you use
actually.
logic. The
No, I
the
have
question is,
axioms
can
I don't
your
presuppose.
metaphysical scheme justify your tacit belief in the laws
Can
of
we
logic,
can we
moral absolute, and
justify
independence and
can,
dentals?
can we justify our axioms?
I don't deal with axioms. I deal with presuppositions. Some
That's
axioms-
what
You
Craig
can't.
was saying.
They're the same thing, moron.
No, they're not. They're not.
Yes, they
always-
are.
No, they're
An
not.
axiom, yes, they are.
No, they're not. They're not the same thing, Brenda.
They're not.
A
the
equals
same
A is an
Yeah,
axiom.
You're
We
just playing your
presuppose
ignorance
that
and
it's
nothing
true.
more,
Yes.
respectfully.
That's incorrect, Brenda. So when we're talking about presuppositions, we're talking about the necessary thing for having an axiom. You couldn't have an axiom without
That's not what a
no-
presupposition is.
Yeah, it is. We're talking about prior to logical systems. Axioms are within logical systems. We're talking about what is necessary prior to have a logical system in the first place. So we're talking before axioms.
Yeah, that's not what the definition says.
So I've got a question. So the
Well,
chimpanzees
you're-
that know sign language, do they have that knowledge because God gave it to them, or did they learn that from a human?
They're going to hell either way.
They learned it
Yeah,
from
for
human.
sure.
Oh, okay. So they didn't need God. They just needed another human to teach them.
You're confusing our argument. Our argument is not that you must be a Christian. in
No,
order
I'm
to
making
love-
fun of it. Is what I'm doing.
You're doing so in a confusing way that reveals your ignorance. So
No,
you-
no. I'm
Yes,
being
that is what you're
ridiculous
doing.
because your arguments.
saying that you can learn language.
You can be ridiculous.
I'm mocking you.
Language or use logic
It's not
from
doing
other
anything.
sources without being a Christian is not the same thing as saying that God is necessary for knowledge. You should really know that. And I'm not shaming you for not knowing it, but you
Can
shouldn't
you
make that argument.
prove that God is necessary for knowledge? You
That's what
still
we
haven't
do.
done
Yes, because knowledge requires something absolute, unchanging, and eternal. How are you having logical consistency
What-
without like a concrete
What's
universal?
the argument for
It's
that?
semantic.
Imar?
How the fuck
If
said it
there's
doesn't
no-
follow? Like
because
all
if
knowledge
there's no-
is a belief held to such a degree that it would be world changing if you lost it. It doesn't even say whether knowledge doesn't even by its own nature mean
what
that it's true or
knowledge is.
false.
Okay, but knowledge requires logical
Knowledge-
consistency, and where are we getting logical consistency without an absolute,
Yeah,
unchanging God?
God- Knowledge
You
just
can have
requires
knowledge that is
justification.
incorrect.
I realize that, but knowledge is
How do we
universal.
determine if it's right or wrong?
It's just a warranted belief. That's all.
Do you,
it is.
do you accept that there's logical consistency? Because if you do, you're going to need a concrete universal to account, metaphysically tether
What's
your
the
logical
argument for that,
consistency.
Mars?
No,
What's
you
the
don't
argument
need
for
that.
that?
You don't
What?
need-
Yeah,
The
what's
universe
that
is
that
the
we
concrete
need?
universe. The laws of logic that are built into the universe that necessitate the way it exists
No, they
are
don't.
the concrete. Yes,
No,
it
they
does.
don't.
No,
They
Logic doesn't
already
have anything
exist
to do
within.
with the
One
way
at
the
a
universe
time. You're
operates.
all
It absolutely
like,
does.
Well, I was told this is a dumpster fire, so
yeah, but nobody
It's
can
like
hear
a dumpster
anything
smolder.
of what anybody is saying if you keep like talking over each other.
Smolder.
So just be
Right.
reasonable.
Not to mention, Brenda, when you ask for an argument for P1, that's a loaded question because you're assuming arguments are possible without reference to God. We're saying that God is necessary for arguments. So when you ask for an argument for that, you're assuming that arguments are possible without reference to
and this is
God,
the
which
kind
is
of-
what's in question.
that's
the kind
just
of rot
begging
brain
the
thinking you have when you
beg-
think things like logic comes from God.
Calling it rot brain is maybe rhetorically powerful to some
Mars.
people, but it does absolutely
I was
nothing
impressed.
to rebut
It's
or
just an
refute
ad
the
hoc.
argument. What we've been doing this
Good one.
entire time is explaining how God has the necessary attributes.
It's
to
just a
ground
stupid way to
logic.
negate everyone's
You can
argument.
Call it
That's all it is.
stupid. That's just an ad hominem.
You're not a
It
Christian,
just
therefore you
throws
can't argue
stones
with me.
over the fence. What we've
Why
done is
does-
You're not
say
using an internal
God
critique where you're already
has the
wrong.
necessary
Guys,
attributes in order to ground logic.
guys.
That's the argument. You can't
You
just
guys-
say it's stupid. You have to provide an argument, a justification for
You
your
haven't given an
presupposition that
argument
logic
yet.
is possible.
This
You
is
have to
this.
look at it.
You're not understanding. We all bring metaphysical baggage to the debate. Everyone does. Now the question we're asking is, whose metaphysical baggage can make debate like possible? Do debates make sense according to your own metaphysics? And we can demonstrate that only on the Christian metaphysics could we actually debate, and it's like makes sense. It's
Okay.
totally inconsistent
All right,
Who's
Mars.
and
talking?
contradiction
Okay.
to debate
I
on any
hear you.
non-Christian metaphysics.
I hear you. Go ahead and make that case.
Right, because arguments require
ahead and
something
make it.
absolute. We
That's
need
you're
something.
just restating the claim. Make your case for the claim.
Yes, debates require
You're just
objective.
restating the claim.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the
Oh,
argument
okay.
has to do with the presuppositions to make a debate. So to make a
Yeah,
debate, we're going to
so
need.
make the
Hold on.
argument.
Is
Oh my
it
God.
possible for us to have a debate or to have an argument about which Pokemon would win?
No, we need objective truth to have in a debate. If there's no
I hear you
objective
saying
truth
that,
that we
but
share, there's no point. If we're all in our own little truth
Can
bubble,
I ask you a question?
All right.
Why are you yelling?
Yeah.
'Cause he's
We
angry.
can literally
Um,
all hear everything of what you're saying, but because you're
I'm just
yelling,
too
it
close to
comes
the
out
mic, my
even
bad.
worse. Well, maybe you should chill the fuck out.
Because he's
too
pissed
close
off
to
because
the
he's
All right.
you crying little bitch.
Sarah,
Mhm.
Sarah, I'm actually gonna call it a night. This is entertaining, but it's not that
not
entertaining. I'm
informative.
sorry.
I would
All
love
right,
to
well, I
talk
guess I better go to
him.
bed
Looks
too.
like a cool guy.
Now you stay and argue with your little friends.
Okay, you don't want you say you don't want me to come to bed now?
Oh my
Go to
god.
this is what a proposition
You know,
is in atheism.
Flow
Watch
State
it.
has this
Well,
weird
Get
obsession.
your jammies and your toothbrush and toddle along.
Who said that?
What?
I don't know. What's your name? Grid
See a little
One.
bubbles light up, so the avatar.
Yes, I am Grid One.
I would love to talk to you sometime. Look like a cool guy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Normally, I would. It would be great if we could actually talk, but you guys are just yelling at each other, and you're saying the same
That's
things
a-
over and over and over again, and
Yeah.
and that's not.
It's a
Look, I
defense
support your
tactic.
right to do so. I think you guys are having. I think you're all great.
Who do you think won?
It's
the
really
debate?
interesting. It's really interesting to me that we have so many atheists up here at one time. That's really impressive.
Who do you think won though? Before you go,
None
I'm
of
sorry?
you won.
Yeah,
You're
I'll-
all
I'll-
white belts.
Can
You're all
you
white
just
belts.
listen? Shut
Shut up.
up. Grid, who do you think won?
Who do I think won?
The guy who played the pool.
I mean, look, I got to be honest. Flo and Corinth have made some pretty solid, and Anson have made some pretty solid arguments. I haven't heard Animated Effigy's arguments, but I don't know. I think the Christians are, and look, and I'm on your side here. Your arguments need to be a little tighter. They just need to be a little tightened up. I think you're right.
Who are you talking to?
the Christians.
The theists.
I don't know all of your names. I'm sorry.
Did you
I
understand?
apologize.
Did you understand their argument? Guy in the hat.
I'm sorry. Who said that?
I did.
Brenda.
Brenda.
Brenda,
Guy in the
okay.
hat. I've forgotten your name. I don't know people's names. The first time here.
Yeah,
Did you
Sarah leaves the
understand-
comments all the time.
Did you understand the theist side of the argument?
I understood both sides of the arguments. I've heard these these exact same arguments over and over for the past 2 years.
What
so
was
I'm
what
really
was
familiar.
their justification for their first?
It's the same as it always is.
Which is what?
That if you without a eternal existing reference God, you can't even have a discussion because you need that reference. You need that.
But
Otherwise,
that's the
it's just
claim.
your opinion. It's
That's
just
the
your preferences. And I'm condensing this a lot. On the agnostic or man, it's late.
Right. So
atheist
they didn't.
side. Thank you,
Yeah.
atheist. On the atheist side, you make the same arguments to logic, and the interesting thing is it's really ineffective to talk about paganism and all of that. Although I liked Anson bringing that in, that was great. But it's interesting. It's a good sidebar, but I personally it doesn't sway me.
Right.
Theists,
Thank
tighten
you.
your arguments up. Atheist, you guys got it pretty good.
In what
Got it
sense?
down pretty
So,
good.
Bring it up in what
according
sense?
to you, dude, in the red hat, they didn't justify their first premise.
I don't have
All
a
you-
red hat.
It looks red
It's
in my
just because
monitor.
you're lighting. That's all.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's because
Yeah,
that's
so-
not our first premise.
Well, he said it was.
No, he never did.
Yeah, he said it
that's
was.
no, that was the.
Can we hear
topic.
the rest of Grid's conclusion while he's leaving?
Yeah, can just
Or was
Grid
that it?
finish up without
Right,
being
yeah.
interrupted.
He said
5
that
seconds.
God is a necessary precondition for knowledge, right?
What
And
he said is the
that was
atheists won the
the argument.
debate, but Christianity relies on faith, so it works.
Right.
It works. It actually works for us to win the debate.
What is
This is actually the
No,
conclusion that never
faith-
ends. I'm just going to jump in and say,
work?
yet again, that the laws of logic presuppose the exact God, the triune God of Scripture. He is the only God. He is the only possible
Assertion.
grounding for the
There
laws
are
of
no
logic
laws
because
of
of their
logic.
attributes. The attributes of the laws of logic are that they are immaterial,
It's helpful.
universal, absolute, knowable, unchangeable over time, universal, and they are three in and
Those are-
one in nature.
Those are
Without
claims
That is-
God,
you
we
need to
do not
back
meet
up.
the laws of
Those are
logic.
claims.
I love
Now,
that
you
you
can
keep
say
smuggling
that's
that in there like
claim
it's
or
not
that's
an
just a
issue.
presupposition. Look how everybody gets so upset
Well,
because
no,
they know.
no, we get upset
this
because you just
argument is
make like
aired
assertion
out.
after
Okay,
assertion
They
after
know
guys,
the
assertion
church
after
is
assertion.
I'm actually trying
They
to
can't even-
leave, so you guys can
All
continue
right,
this
everybody,
later.
shut up. Go ahead,
Take it easy,
Grid.
Grid.
Hey,
All
Grid,
right,
nice to
so
meet you.
yeah, so
Shut up.
I honestly would
Grid
call
wants
this one a
you.
draw. I think
Yeah.
the theists I think they have a better argument, but
You're
tonight
Christian.
the atheists actually made a cleaner argument. That's what I'm going to say, and if you don't have to agree with me.
Actually, what
That
you
was
had-
diplomatic.
Yeah,
A very
what you had-
reasonable
you had-
man. He's a very reasonable man.
No, he's
Yeah, I'm not.
unreasonable.
I
Oh,
am
shit.
unreasonable.
Yeah.
He's unreasonable as hell.
You guys can find me on at on YouTube, and Unreasonable Man. It is at Grid1-Motorsports,
Oh my god.
and you can come find me there. I don't argue religion because I'm not qualified, and I don't judge religion because I'm not qualified. You folks have a great night. You're all beautiful people, except you, Flo. And
I'll be to bed after this or whenever you say
Which
you're
one
ready.
Which one is Flo? Which one is Flo? I don't know.
anyway,
Me, the powdered
Eric,
Dusty.
You guys have a great night. Enjoy
You too.
all of it. So
Nice to meet you, bro.
see ya.
Good to see you, Grid.
Thanks,
Have a
man.
good night.
Take
Good
care.
night,
So,
Grid.
Brenda-
And let me actually, Furby, your timer has come out.
I have a question for
Brenda-
the non-Christian theists.
It came out.
Can I ask that?
Can I just say something real quick? So, Brenda, when you say that's just a claim, you're predicating, and predication requires something absolute, unchanging, and eternal. So, what's absolute,
Assertion.
unchanging, and eternal?
Yeah,
That's
but
not-
it
Begging
doesn't
the
though.
question. You're just begging the question, P. Mars.
I'm not begging. You predicated when you predicate, you're assuming, presupposing something absolute, unchanging, and
No,
eternal.
you're not.
In order
I don't
for you to predicate,
Get any? I don't.
So
think
how
we're
are you
gonna get anywhere
predicating?
with this?
how are you predicating? If you're not
Because you made a
assuming,
claim.
You're like a
being
scratch
parasitic.
CD or something.
Your view is parasitic on our view because you're predicating without
No, your view is parasitic on human behavior and interactions. It's parasiting logic. It's parasiting morals. It parasited is parasited Christmas. It parasited Judaism. Get the
Are you
fuck out
talking
of
to
here with
Brenda or
parasiting.
PMars?
He's trying to say that about
Mars
Christian
and I
movies.
are talking.
Okay, because you cut off Brenda to say that, Flo. Like maybe
No,
let
I
her
don't.
finish.
I don't give a fuck about Brenda either. Brenda's no better.
Yeah, you have that kind of bias. I've
be right
noticed
back.
that.
All right, I have a question for the non-Christian, non-theists here in the room.
Non-Christian, non-theist.
If you are a fallibilist, if fallibilism is true, fallibilism says that you can set the threshold for what is considered knowledge at anything less than 100% certainty. If knowledge does not require certainty, what principled reason do you have for setting that threshold of justification at any particular percentage, and why not 1%?
And before you answer that, Furby, you got another 10 minutes backstage.
Cool transphobia.
20 minutes now. All right, timer, and let me get you out of here.
Mel got extra 10 minutes for being
And
trans.
actually, stand by because I do need to do a overlay and a voice confirmation. Brandon, are you with us, darling?
Yes, I am
Brand-
back with you.
Okay, what's 7 plus 3?
10.
10. And we're not going to show anything on screen that we shouldn't, correct?
No, absolutely not. That's why I had my cam on.
Well, all right. That sounds
Kidding,
good. Thank
but,
you.
You know,
Why do you
Also,
ask the number question? Like, are you
You
reading out
can-
chatbots that can pretend to be human but not do simple math?
Well, you can change the question every time so they don't have a prepared answer. If I ask the same question every time, it would be easy just to prepare the
But
answer. in
if
advance.
they could navigate the answer, then they can do the math on the fly.
It's a lot harder, though, right?
I don't know.
well, Sarah, I've been up on your panel before.
I
just
thought
wanted to-
you have. I thought the name on there looked familiar. But I never know.
Yeah. That's okay. Is my mic okay though? I know sometimes like it.
You
crackles and
are
stuff.
kind of glitchy, actually.
Gotcha.
not
I'll go
sure.
on mute until I'm able to hop in.
Okay. All right.
So I
Jeff.
just sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
are we free to go now? What is it? What is? How can you possibly say that logic is like this transcendent, immaterial thing?
Wait, how does this respond to my question I just asked?
Not.
You didn't ask a question. Sarah was talking.
Did you not hear my question about fallibilism?
Oh, that was.
Could you say it again?
Before she started talking.
Yes.
I'm
it was-
not a fallibilist, so you're talking to somebody.
Well, then
else.
if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. I specifically was talking to fallibilists. All right, I'll ask it again. If fallibilism is true and knowledge does not require certainty, what principled reason do you have for setting the threshold of justification at any particular percentage, and why not 1%? And
Well,
Alex,
what is-
this might have been a question that you came up with, or at least it was based on something that you said.
What is the threshold?
100%.
Yeah.
It wasn't that in the beginning, both of your opening statements, it doesn't have to be 100% to be knowledge.
If you listen carefully,
reasonably, or was it justified?
So there's first order knowledge and second order knowledge, which Joel got into in his opening. And
What
first
was
order
your
knowledge.
definition?
Well, the definition
Justified
of knowledge-
reasonable belief.
No,
Well,
no,
no,
justified
justified
true belief. Justified
But
true
then-
belief. Go ahead.
Go
Alex. Okay, so just really quick, just to clarify, in my opening statement, what I did was I defined knowledge. I agreed with my partner's definition of knowledge as justified true belief, and then I offered an option for a second tier level of knowledge, which is warranted true belief, which a fallibilist could assent to, but only with certain caveats. So my question is, for the fallibilist, and I wasn't saying that I agree with fallibilism, but I was saying that I think it can be reasonable in some cases to say I have knowledge based on the deliverances of my truth-seeking faculties, only because of my prior belief that I have reliable truth-seeking faculties that are operating in a propitious environment according to a design plan. So So that's more of a colloquial definition of knowledge. But what I'm asking is, for a fallibilist, why would we say that something is considered to be knowledge that is less than 100%? And why couldn't something that is only 1% certain be considered knowledge? And if it can be or can't be, isn't that just an arbitrary limit?
So now that you're done spurging, let me just correct
man,
you.
that was a very reasonable
let me just
question.
correct you, because you've just done a big word salad and you buried.
It wasn't
the
a
lead.
word salad. Those were
Right?
clear-
Yeah.
that was a word buffet. That was a word buffet.
Stop.
That was a
All
word
right.
buffet.
Having a justified true belief is not 100% certainty, man. It's just having sufficient evidence or reason to believe whatever your proposition is. You're confusing 100% certainty with a justified true belief.
Oh, really?
You,
I know
you
you
explain infallibilism with that,
Yeah.
because the level of justification is where infallibilism distinction comes in.
Look, if you just have good evidence and reason to believe a proposition is true because you've gone through the process of studying it, and you have a brain, right? And you do all of the what was it, syllogisms or whatever it is you philosophy fucks like to do, right? Then you've got a justified true belief, right? But it's not certain, right? People are wrong.
So
people
then
are
answer
wrong.
my
People make mistakes. You're people, and
That's
even your
fallible.
belief in God is fallible, right?
So answer my question.
But Anson,
I can answer
you're saying
it.
as long as you have good evidence, how do you qualify good evidence?
Oh, okay. I'll give you an 82%. There. Are you happy? It doesn't
Gaslight
matter what number I use. It's irrelevant.
Right, so it's
Why not
arbitrary.
1%?
That's what Joel's point was. It's fucking
Yes,
arbitrary.
but having a justified true belief is not 100% certainty, and it's also not arbitrary. And you can have justified true beliefs and not be 100% certain, and that's okay.
You
because all
literally,
humans
you
make
I'm
mistakes.
sorry, you literally just said I'll give you 82% as a number.
I
because
was
it really
messing
doesn't
with you
matter.
because
Hold on. Brandon, your mic is popping. I'm gonna give you like 2
Is it?
more minutes
My
to
fault.
finish,
And
then
that
we'll.
pussy ain't.
No, you're good. I'm gonna try and fix it. On the StreamYard, for some reason, my mic is always
Popping mics dries women right up.
Let's maybe try turning off echo cancellation and reducing the mic background.
Or
Sometimes
just
that works.
solve
Chrome
your
is
audio issue somewhere else.
All
If
right.
you're using something other than Chrome, Firefox sucks on.
Okay, why don't we all just tech support him right here? Let's go.
We did that.
Have you tried turning off your computer and turning it back on?
Try blowing in the cassette.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you're showing your age there.
I am.
They quit blowing in them by like Nintendo 64. That shit was done.
Yeah, and it never even worked, really.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. You didn't grow up
Okay,
in
but
the-
would you ever do the tap on your head thing too? You blow in the slot and then you tap it on your head twice?
No, I didn't
The
know
real
that.
trick when it can't load.
tech supporting me. Can you tell me whether or not my mic is?
Hold on. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. All right. Now try talking.
Oh yeah, I was saying, Dusty, since you're tech supporting me, can you show me whether or not it's better, or tell me whether
It's
or not
still bad. It's still bad, homie.
Well, maybe I'll just have to turn my earbuds off and then come
You-
into my.
It sounds
If
better
you-
now.
It sounds
It's a little bit better. It's 10. It's 10. Actually, it's tolerable now. Let's just roll with now.
82% better.
Yeah, I'm 82. I'm afraid that if you
82% better.
yeah, but knowledge. I mean, knowing something, right? When somebody says they're knowing something, that's really just an emphasis. Because ultimately, if we're being real, none of us can know in that sort of a pure philosophical sense anything
Why not?
except for basically our existence. Hold on. Yes, even with a Christian worldview, you could be wrong about your religion. So this is what I've realized that Christian debaters do. They gaslight the fuck out of you, and then they supplement after they've gaslit you. They bring in a paradigm that is internally consistent, but it has no attachment to reality. But it's not attached to reality at all.
Wait, how do you determine whether or not it's attached to reality?
No, see, if I may, like, this is my problem here. Like the hinging on knowledge, right? And of course, these guys probably consider that their religious beliefs are knowledge to them, right? So if other people have just as ardent religious beliefs, they would say that those people's knowledge could be false. So in the same turn, your knowledge that you hold the most certainty in could be absolutely false.
Defend
right?
that.
because certainty is not knowledge.
That's real quick. That's an assertion. You have to defend that assertion.
No,
Well, I don't see. That's the thing. You guys keep. This is why you have to keep adding on the qualifier of
Not
true
adding,
knowledge,
you
because
made a
knowledge
claim.
is just a belief that has some certainty in it.
Real
So
quick.
you keep adding in true,
No,
and I
that's
think
not what
it's
knowledge is.
disingenuous for Christians to add in truth, because in my
You continue not to
in my
do what
worldview,
you
true
think.
is that which comports with reality, and I know you guys believe that truth is that which is
See,
comes from
it's-
God.
Effigy, what they're doing, what they're doing is a word concept fallacy. What they mean is dogma instead of truth. They have dogma.
Well,
not
no,
truth.
Anson,
If you
Study
don't just
epistemology.
have to make a
truth is an
claim
important
and then
concept
not
in the
defend it
world.
when someone says defend that claim. If you make an assertion, you have to defend it. You said that functionally all religious claims are epistemologically equivalent. You have to defend that claim. And if you want me to put that in a way that's not quote unquote word salad, which is actually a word steak because it's so nutritious and good for you, and amazing, then
You get a W for that one because that was
thank
funny.
you. What I'm going to say is this: back it up. You made a claim, back it up.
Back that ass up.
I'm still eating that steak. That shit was good.
Well, no, my example is simply that people who have religious views consider it knowledge. And then from your own worldview, you would consider everyone else's knowledge to be not true, even though they hide it to just as degree.
That's because they confuse certainty with knowledge.
No.
When you say certainty, we're
Well,
not.
this is kind of FPG's whole. This is kind of FPG's whole mo. He'll assert a bunch of things, won't
FPG.
actually back them up.
Wait,
And here I feel that's exactly what just happened.
Then back up your claim.
I asserted something and then you didn't back it up. Exactly. Thank you.
All right. And let me read a few more super chats from earlier that I
Read
didn't
mine.
get to. I had to actually kind of skip through some of the $5 or less, only because if not, we would just be sitting there reading super chats.
I'm taking up.
Personally feel like came in with the $5, said Joel feeling like a freight train, first one to complain, leaves with blood-stain. Aisha's go with the
Amen.
big 7. I love the raging tomato. Q-Tar with the big 5 says, since knowledge relies on your senses, would knowledge exist if you personally did not exist?
That's about the dumbest question you can think of.
Why?
No, he's asking about whether or not knowledge is mind dependent or mind independent.
You can know things without
pretty simple question.
them being. You can know something without it being.
I mean, our knowledge wouldn't
empirical.
exist, but somebody else's probably would, right? We know that because when somebody dies, we don't stop knowing things. So
God's
again,
knowledge would always
the
exist, right?
the defenses of the Christian worldview become increasingly more solipsistic the further down that rabbit hole you go.
Well, no, Dusty. They're asking whether or not knowledge relies upon a mind. I feel like
I would say that it does.
Sarcastic
it's not.
Saint with the big 5 said, second worst panel ever, Sarah. Please change Craig's adult diaper and give him his bottle so he shuts up. Now I see why Craig is losing all his hair. It's quite the
Boy,
hit.
that was a hard seethe. That was a lot of seething packed into one.
Really,
sentence.
he didn't really,
It's
he
pretty
didn't really
accurate,
talk
though. It's
that
very
much.
truthful.
He didn't really
Flo
talk that
kept
much.
interrupting him.
Yeah, so
See?
he didn't really talk that much.
He was taking. He was. I wanted to go in a different direction.
That's fair. B Twix with the big 5 saying, show me God exists entails presuppositions. LOL. Does cringe Craig really not understand what he's even saying?
What's
That
the
goes back-
presupposition?
I'm pretty sure
entails.
Craig doesn't know what he's saying.
But I mean, okay, that's
It
fine.
entails
But what about the
presuppositions.
first
For example, here I can show
Consciousness,
you,
logic,
Dusty.
knowledge. These are all
Me entails that there is a self, exists entails existence itself. You're making presuppositions. This is actually why I came up on the panel, because I wanted to talk to Craig, because he said, I think, therefore I am. Right, and this
That was me.
presupposes the self in the word I. It presupposes that you're able to have thought in the first place, which is think.
You understand that language is derivative of reality. It's not reality.
You
itself.
also understand that it presupposes that logic. I mean, not logic, but language
the map
is
is
able to be
not the
comprehended.
territory.
Logic too.
Right.
Has
Okay,
nothing
but
to do with
here's what I'm saying, Dusty. Here's what you're not. Here's not what you're not catching this, Dusty. Listen. So the words "I think, therefore I am," this argument, right, presupposes multiple things. It presupposes the I, which is the self. It presupposes that language has meaning. Otherwise, you couldn't give the argument to begin with.
Maybe.
It presupposes that existence is actually a thing because I exist. right? You're
And
presupposing
all
a
these presuppositions
kind of thing.
could be wrong.
Maybe-
It is
maybe.
possible that I'm a
Right,
crazy
but I'm showing you
person
the same
and
thing.
you're all
Sure,
figments of my
sure,
imagination.
Just
sure.
undercut.
But when you say the
Christian logic.
fundamental, but when you say the fundamental grounding for your position is "I think, therefore I am," you're not actually giving a grounding. You're just making another claim which has more presuppositions baked into it. It's such as the super chat that just came up. Show me God exists. It does have presuppositions as an entailment. Me means that there is a self, and
The
I.
presuppositions don't then that doesn't demonstrate God.
B. Hey,
Oh
B.
shit! I'm not.
What's the
disputing
guy's
that.
name with the purple B? What's your name again?
Brandon.
Brandon. Right. So the cogito, yeah, you're talking about Russell's interpretation of the cogito, right? So there's another interpretation, which is that it's not making an argument. It's simply an experience.
No, it's a self-evident.
Right. Well, you would have to presuppose existence in order to have an experience. You would
that's
presuppose a
Russell's-
mind or a brain in
It's not a
order.
presupposition. You're just
Russell's-
here.
that's-
Yeah,
that's
but okay,
Russell's-
great. But I'm not even
that's
talking about
Russell's
Bertrand
critique.
Russell. I'm
Russell
not
said it
even
was
giving
circular.
Bertrand
Yes, you
Russell's
are.
argument.
I
All
know.
right. Next question.
I know the
Good.
arguments that you don't even know you're
Good
talking
question came in with the big five.
No,
There
no,
were
Russell said it's circular.
good question came in with the big five. Says there were people 60,000 years before Yahweh created Yahweh. Dyslexia.
Is that like a
created
new
the
Australian beer or something? What the fuck is that?
Yahweh created the
I'd try one
Christian
too.
universe. So God is unnecessary for knowledge.
He tries this on my channel. Yeah, he tries to say this. No, there weren't. No, there weren't. Because to assume that the biblical timeline is incorrect is to cut off the limb that you're sitting on, the limb of the tree that you're sitting on. It's literally, it's a man climbing up into a tree, taking a saw, sitting on a tree branch, and sawing off the branch that he's sitting on.
Okay.
Your whole world is going to collapse.
Can we address
If somebody wants to say that the Bible's timeline is wrong, you're attempting to disprove the Bible's epistemology, but now you've lost the grounding for the
That's
laws
just
of logic.
your
and all
interpretation of the Bible's timeline. Are you
Yes,
a
it's
younger
my
creationist?
interpretation.
Where did all the water
It's not
go
like I
from
just
the
pulled it out
flood?
of my, it's
Yeah,
not like I just made it up.
so we know for a fact that the Earth is in fact 4.5 billion years
Are you
old.
certain about that?
We don't
Yes.
know that for a fact. Don't
You're certain about that,
overreach.
according
Don't
to what standard of
overreach.
absolute certainty?
What?
Don't
Science-
overreach
You know what?
with your claims. This is how they're going to fuck you up. You're going to make a claim like that you can't support, and then they're
I
going to
can't
fuck you up.
support it.
Dusty, you're not far from the kingdom of God, man.
I am the kingdom of God.
Don't be
And I
Well,
learned
no.
that, and I learned that because I read my fucking Bible.
Dusty, you're not far from the
Did you
kingdom
do
of
a
God.
Bible
You need to
study with
repent
Billy
and trust in the
Carson?
Lord Jesus Christ.
I am doing Bible studies every Tuesday night now.
So
No, but you should
again-
invite Billy Carson.
Hey.
To answer his question, to answer his
Dusty,
question,
invite me to
you
one
know,
of your Bible studies sometime.
science
Look,
doesn't give you absolute.
Every
tomorrow?
Tuesday night, he has one.
Tuesday
He
night.
reads the Bible.
Every
I wanna-
Tuesday night today. I normally don't open the panel until after a couple hours. But tomorrow, if you want to join me, you can join as a special guest.
I appreciate
So
that.
to answer the plaid
I
guy
really
in
want to
plaid-
join you.
Yeah, so to
Eh.
answer the guy in plaid, right? Science doesn't have certainty. It doesn't give you that, right? So we know to a considerable degree
What
of
degree?
confidence that
percentage?
the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. To a
What
high degree,
percentage?
a very high degree. I don't know,
Uh,
right? So we know
higher than 50%.
because we know because our physical laws about radioactive decay would be wrong.
This is the same person that said they weren't a fallibilist, by the way.
This is the same person that said that the first premise wasn't
Good
a premise.
question
Reliable.
with the good question with the big five again. Says ravioli, penne, lasagna are consubstantial and share in the glory of pasta. God is pasta and Jesus is ravioli.
I love comments like this because it shows the absolute inanity and folly of atheism. Yeah, okay, yeah. If that's your comment, you're not helping your cause at all. You're making yourself look foolish, not the Christian.
What's wrong with
It's
what he
not
said?
a cause.
Oh, there's nothing
Atheism
wrong
is
with
not a
making
group.
comments like that.
Dusty, get him. It's a religion.
So the issue is that it's not wrong. It's just it illustrates something that's good, proper to point out. It just does it in sort of a tacky way. Like at least be creative with the insults. The spaghetti monster's played out.
No, so what he's
My
saying,
goodness, agreed.
what he's
Yeah.
saying is that if God's nature, right, is part of the Trinity, then all of the parts of the Trinity share the same essence, which means
There are
they
parts of the
into one.
There aren't parts of the Trinity.
That's his
That would be
criticism.
partialism.
They're
This
all
is
parts
way
of
too
partialism.
Brenda, how did
It's
you
fine that
determine
they're
the
all
margin of
persons,
error?
but I want to hear this argument.
Yeah,
How
there
did you
aren't
determine?
parts of the Trinity. Oh, my
No,
bad.
they're not parts, they're persons, but okay, we
No,
corrected
not
that.
part. No,
Go ahead.
yeah, parts is partialism.
Not
Andy
to be
with the
confused with
big
beings.
Andy with the big 5 says death is the separation of the soul from the body. It is not the cessation of existence. Therefore, God can die when he takes on human nature, soul, and body.
Correct.
Q-Tard with the big 5. Hey, Britbong, don't bring up the 3-5 clause when you have absolutely no understanding as to why it was implemented that way. Aisha's Go with the big 7. Craig is a presupposition to assume something is evil. Andy with the big 5. Craig, science proves the laws of logic exist before we put language to them because its ever test leans on a coherence we don't invent.
Which science? Can you refer me to the science that was used to prove the laws of logic, Andy?
There are no laws of logic, dude.
Is there a science to show that you have in mind?
I'm just asking for support for the claim.
I think he's saying that the laws of logic have to
Yes,
exist before we do science because we need them to observe the world.
All the
So we
laws-
need to have a language that we can communicate our science in
It's
to
not-
do
the
science.
laws of
Agree.
logic aren't they're not a language.
are-
They're truths about
There
truth.
are no laws of logic.
Well,
So
then
there
you
are
should-
laws.
Well, then
if you
you're
don't think
refuting
there's logic,
yourself,
you should-
so get
why are
out
you
of here.
debating?
What?
Logic is based on axioms, not laws.
Okay, well, you're contradicting yourself if you
Well,
don't believe
they're
logic
not.
in your
They're
debate.
based
All the
on
laws of
axioms,
logic
not
are really
laws.
defining is distinctions. We're
No,
just
look,
distinguishing
You
between
have no
things.
idea what you're talking
No,
about.
the laws of logic are.
I know exactly what the fuck
truths
I'm talking about.
truth.
Listen to me and learn something.
No, Dusty, you don't. You're
Dude, have you
you're
ever
saying
read a
that logic. You're saying logic itself is the second law of logic, which is the law of identity. That's what you're trying.
That's the
each
first
thing
law
is
of
the
logic. Let me teach you
That's the
something.
second. That's actually the
first
second.
law of
First law is
logic
the
is the
law
law
of
of
non-contradiction.
identity.
Those are
The first law is
Non-contradiction
actually
is
the
the
law of
third one.
non-contradiction.
Axioms, you dummy.
Axioms, they are
No, the
not.
third
They're
one
not
is the law of
fucking
excluded middle.
axioms.
But however you want to add, however you want to number them, doesn't matter.
Okay, and so are they all referring to distinguishing between things?
You're all going to
No.
hell.
No,
No, the
you're on
only
the
only the
are.
law of
Yes, they
identity.
fucking
Like I
are.
said,
Only
you don't
the
have
law of
a
identity
fucking
does.
clue
No,
what you're talking
the
about.
non-self-contradiction. This can't be that. If this isn't that,
Yes,
all we're
that's
doing is
called
drawing
the law
distinction.
of identity. That's called the law of identity.
No, the law of non-self-contradiction says that two
No,
things.
no, it's not non-self contradiction, it's non-contradiction. And it would say that X cannot be X and non-X at the same time in the same sense.
Right.
You're cooking
So
yourself.
all
with
that
this
is
thing.
a distinction between X and non-X. These are three ways of making distinctions.
No.
No.
Q-Tard with
Okay,
the
so
big
what's the law?
5
Sorry.
says, someone explain to me logically how Blue Flannel Mustache Man time traveled from 1984 to beat Craig and Flo. Thanks.
That's a
He
cop.
got rid of the Indian. He got
Reveal
rid
that.
of the Indian and the construction worker. That's how.
Made by Jim Bob with the big 5 says, Flo, is it wrong to teach kids that it's wrong to brainwash kids?
It is wrong, but unless somebody wants to sit around silently for 5 minutes while I explain what morals are and why they're important, I'm not going to argue.
I can't wait to hear how you get morals absent God.
Is
quick,
Jim
I do have
Bob,
to
is
run.
Jim Bob tired of being humiliated yet? I would think so.
When has he been humiliated? When?
Repeatedly.
Oh, by me for sure. Yeah, he
Yeah.
ran from me. He kicked me from his Discord. He's scared of me.
I don't think he's scared of you. I just think that you're retarded.
Yeah, that's a convenient excuse.
I mean,
If I were a coward, I'd call everyone I don't like retarded as well.
Basically,
Yeah, I don't
nobody
like retarded
except
people either,
Jared. It's
so-
not because he's scared of you.
He can't figure
Actually,
out
a lot of
the
smart
Got
people tend to
embarrassed by
love me.
Max too. You saw that, right?
Smart people tend to love me, actually.
Sarcasm.
That's a claim with an evidence.
All right. Joe Cool with a big 5. The show is not complete if you don't let Craig roast a flat earther. I don't think we didn't have any flat earthers come on, did we?
No.
Craig would have to be able to have knowledge in order to do that.
So I do have to run.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if I have any last words. I think I said it in my closing, but I hope I run into you at an event somewhere, Flo. I'd like to have a beer with you. You're a fun guy.
But if you ever come through Kansas City, hit me up.
Cool.
Flo doesn't
Shout
even
out Jeff
drink.
for being here. I met Jeff.
Yeah, good to see you, Wi-Fi.
Thanks, Joel. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate having you on, and we'll finish up for your next debate, getting that set up.
Triple X, I just want to say that you're welcome for carrying the debate for you. And, you know, I'll continue your lessons and hopefully someday you'll get it. Okay. God bless
Yeah,
you.
sounds good.
If God uttered a contradiction or a lie, would we stop knowing?
If a square had only 3 sides, would a pizza fly swiftly under the much?
If God, for instance, said you had a jar and there's 500 marbles in the jar,
The circles
and
were squares and pants have
God leans over to you, he
shorts.
whispers in your ear, he
Like
says,
short sleeve
"There's
pants and
500
the squares
there's
have
500
circles.
Could you stop? There's 500.
Yeah, can you stop asking stupid questions?
Right?
I kind of agree with both.
Would knowing stop?
I'm so
Would
sad.
knowing stop?
Yeah, if there was, what you're saying is if there was no logically coherent foundation for logic, would we be able to know truths? Obviously,
Would it
no.
stop, right? So
Obviously,
I'd
we
say-
wouldn't be able to know anything. God does not lie. That's not an internal critique of Christianity.
Right. So consider this hypothetical.
I mean,
God
right?
leans
So
over to you.
you just got your
and-
answer.
No, God leans over to you and tells you
Which
a
God?
fib,
The God who necessarily tells the truth at all
one
times.
How many gods are there?
right? And so he leans over you.
Well, I've got my true one, and he's got his false one.
whispers a fib in your ear. On the other side of the United States, a waitress asks a man what sandwich he'd like, and the man only hears wah, 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 because he can't know anything now, right?
Those
Is
were
that
good
what happens?
ones.
Yeah, they go,
Yeah, Brenda, if you're trying to give an internal critique, I think what Joel,
What in the
I think
world was
is
the
trying to
what
say
the
is that
fuck was that?
it's a
Oh my God.
One.
Is the loneliest number.
Sarah, I'm about to get off the panel. I just wanted to say something to kind of bring people together a little bit because there's something that most atheists can learn from theists and something that theists can learn from atheists. And I think that one of the things that the atheists can learn from theists is that we don't view knowledge or beliefs in the same sort of dogmatic way that y'all do. Skepticism is a integral part of any belief, right? Even what I consider to be a justified true belief, in order for it to still be a belief, I have to be able to question it. And with dogma, you can't say, well, is God real? Right? Is this person that wrote all this Bible, is this stuff actually real? No, you have to actually just believe it on faith. And that's the component. And as for the atheists, from my perspective, we can learn that not deifying ourselves and looking to something higher than ourselves is actually necessary for the human condition because we are terrible guides of our own life.
Hey, Knowles.
And generally create
I have
nihilistic
a
society.
question. I have a
So
question.
I'm gonna go.
I have to go.
See you later.
Well said, Anson.
As well, but can I jump in on that? 'Cause that was-
Are we trying to read
then I'm gonna
super
head out.
chats right now?
Everybody, shut up. Joel, would you like to make your exit?
Yes, I do need to make my exit. And I just want to say that I've really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the channel. I really enjoyed getting to know my interlocutors quite a bit, and I am actually hoping that I can make the Bible study tomorrow, and if not, then hopefully soon. I gotta figure out my schedule because I'm doing a lot of these things lately, and I got to make sure I spend time with my family too. But but no, I really enjoyed this, and to the point about not deifying ourselves, I think that's such an important point, and I would be very remiss if I didn't leave you with this. The very same Bible that I've been defending all night is the same Bible that says that each of us falls short of the glory of God. We all sin. That's why we have all these debates and these attempts to try to keep God at arm's length. The Bible says that the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. Jesus Christ really is a historical person. He died on the cross for our sins. He was buried. He was raised to life again in accordance with the scriptures, and he is currently reigning from heaven and holding the universe together. And anyone and everyone who trusts in him will be forgiven of all your sins and will receive eternal life. That's why we do these debates. It's not simply to score rhetorical points. It's not simply to build our channel. And that is truly the
You realize
I
he had
want.
two sides to every
He's
one of you.
making an exit
He's
statement.
doing it. He's doing it
Go.
scandalous. I see you. I'm gonna call you out after you leave.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can
Call
say
me out. You
everything
don't
you
think I
want
came here to
afterwards.
preach? That I've been saying from the very moment I got here. I've got one God. I want you to know him. I want you to have eternal life in Christ Jesus. People don't like hearing that, but someday, Dusty, someday, I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope that you receive the same eternal life that I received from Jesus Christ. Call me out on it if you want, but I came here to say that. So, God bless you guys. I mean that. I'll see you later.
Joel, do you want me to share your email with Flow State, Dusty?
I sent him an email.
Yeah.
I sent him an email.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you. I appreciate
Boys
that.
are all set.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
Sarah, you
have
did a
one.
fantastic job tonight. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
No problem. You guys are fun.
Thanks for having me on.
You earned it.
Bye.
Bye, Joel. All right. Let's see. I got to do a voice confirm. Oh, wait. Joel, I got to remove you so that, and you, it looks like you're going to figure out your channel over there. Eod.
Hello.